Since episode 1 of the new 2020 Digimon Adventure Remake reboot series, its quality has never been in question. Its animation impressed in the pilot, its script-flipping reveal of that character in the second episode shocked and awed, and then its continual dedication to both paying respect to and innovating on characters we've loved for 20 years are all marks of a great series. But episode 8 of the new show took things to a whole new level with riveting action and genuinely sweet character turns, proving without a doubt that Digimon Adventure 2020 is going to be something special. The episode sees the kids reaching their destination across the ocean thanks to the sea support granted by Joe and Ikakumon. Mimi is lovingly braiding Ikakumon's fur, an adorable touch, when the team is blasted out of the water by forces holding down a fort right outside the team's destination. The chosen children make it to the shore and are saved by Matt, wearing a cool as heck hood and cape. As if Matt couldn't be any more cool, the show decided to turn this bad boy levels up to 11 with this cape and hood thing. The team is able to retreat thanks to an opening Matt and Gabumon provide them, and they take shelter in a cave where Tai re-meets Matt and Gabumon. Meeting Gabumon in particular made for an interesting dynamic since Tai has technically met Gabumon before, just in a more advanced state as Garurumon. It's kind of like when you meet someone in a work setting versus off hours at a bar. Gabumon is much sweeter in this state, and he even has a cute reunion with Agumon. Matt quickly sizes the team up and concludes they're more or less dead weight, and he rides Garurumon into battle in a way that made me nostalgic for Davis and Willis riding Bergeromon in the Hurricane Touchdown section of the Digimon movie. We're on a mission! At the same time, in what can only be described as the worst decision of Joe's young life, the sweet summer child decides that surrender is the appropriate approach to take. Joe is swiftly blasted by tank-type Digimon, really no surprise here, but we at least get a good bit about Mimi's towel that Joe ruined, which is actually Sora's towel, and on top of that, the plan's failure forces Tai and Sora into action. Tai and Sora try to keep up with Matt and Garurumon, and Sora comments on how amazing the new kid is. It's here I thought, is this the show planting seeds of the famous love triangle of the original series? Sora and Bergeromon cause a distraction that lets Matt advance, but just before they split up, Sora gets this cool girl, "My name's Sora, don't forget it," style self-introduction to Matt. She hasn't acted this cool in her introductions thus far to Izzy, Mimi, Joe, or even Tai, so I'm thinking, could Sora think of Matt in a different light than the others, and she's trying to impress him? Tai and Matt infiltrate the fortress, and Greymon gives Matt and Garurumon an opening. Mid-attack, Matt looks around to see the once cowardly Joe shooting him a thumbs up, and suddenly reflects on the fact that these total strangers are helping him. On one hand, it felt like this character reached a emotional breakthrough a little too fast. I mean, he's flashing back to events from 5 minutes ago. But on the other hand, it also works at this pace because it teaches Matt that people can just be fundamentally kind to each other, regardless of what they do or don't know about one another, or how long they've known each other. I kind of like this a lot. Garurumon powers up, that seriously stellar main action theme kicks in again, and for half a second I thought we were actually about to get Where Garurumon as Matt's Digimon started to light up blue. We don't get that, but instead we see him and the other chosen children finish off the battle with really impressive combat animation, and the episode ends with both parties, Matt and the other chosen children, acknowledging that they'd be toast without the other. Matt's not exactly running in for a group hug, but he is quietly acknowledging the perks of teamwork, and it's the exact state for where this character should be at this time. The already thrilling episode ends with an equally exciting cliffhanger as the children find a basement in the middle of the occupied fortress that seems to contain writing that uses the language of the Holy Digimon. So before I get to my rating, just some lightning round, more episode observations. Here's a new interesting dynamic. Joe displays a bit of jealousy over Izzy's smarts back when they're all riding on Ikakumon. He says, "As the oldest here, I must be the one to lead everyone." I'm a sucker for characters who think they should be the leader. It's why I love Davis so much and his dislike for TK in 02, and I wonder if we'll see more of that feud between Joe and Izzy in the future. Also, at this point, it seems like it's become a running gag to not give Bergeromon an evolution scene. Bergeromon evolves twice in this episode and got no sequence either time. The first time it's off screen, and the second time Pyomon is dead center of the screen and we just kind of flash cut to Bergeromon. It's brutal. I'm not even a big Bergeromon fan, I just believe in equal rights for partner Digimon. So my conclusion: this episode is honestly a 10 out of 10 episode. From start to finish, it never lets up. Other episodes have impressed and rarely dragged, but this episode solidified the show's commitment to action, stellar animation, and again, most importantly, character building. It was oddly touching to see Joe and Mimi shoot that thumbs up Matt's way, despite their sheer horror of the situation. It was touching to see Sora confidently introduce herself to the new kid. It was touching to see Tai accept he doesn't need to be the leader in every scenario, letting Matt take the lead. And at the end of it all, it was touching to see Matt thank them all. Digimon Adventure 2020 is doing something special, and every Digimon fan really should be watching this show.